Here's a man who enjoys a good steak. He is the general manager of the Utah Mammoth, Bill Armstrong, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I do enjoy some beef. I wish I didn't eat as much as I do, but I do like a good steak.
Oh, Bill, we may need to send some beef your way.
I like that.
I'm sure you've had some good steaks, but Scotty and I are going to get you some real deal Bar W beef, man. That's all raised right here in Utah. So we'll get it sent your way.
I would greatly appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, what better way to celebrate 7 in a row than a nice ribeye steak? Bill, what's going on, man? This is awesome.
A nice ribeye steak.
Yeah.
Well,
what's brewing with these guys? What's gotten into the water there? This is impressive.
Yeah, I think we just put our nose to the grindstone and played hockey, and I think our young guys have played real well, and Gunther's just been hammering home the game winners left, right, and center. Along with a lot of other people, our goaltending being pretty good too, and our D being pretty good too. So a lot of different combinations, but I like the way that we've got off to a good start. That's important. I don't think we can sustain this level of play, but what we've done is have this micro burst of showing what we're going to look like in the end and how good we can be. And that's the important part of banking some points early on. It gives us some momentum too.
Yeah, Bill, everywhere I go now, grocery store, you're out at a department store, anywhere you're at publicly, people come up and they say, what is going on with the Mammoth? And I try to make sense out of it. And I'm like, well, they brought in this J.J. Paterka. I think he's opened up some things. He forces a certain eye. But the biggest thing I go to is you've got a young group that's now growing up together a little bit. I just feel like you're getting some maturity out of some of your young guys in some of the more recent play.
I do. I do think there's a factor. And, I'll give you an example tonight. We play the Edmonton Oilers, and the difference between us and them, obviously they have two of the best players in the game, so they're going to be a handful, number one. But I think the maturity that we have inside our locker room is because there are 9 Stanley Cups in our locker room. And that helps a lot. And those guys that have won those help our young players get situated and get the right mindset to go out there and play the right way. So I think we do have a lot of experience inside our locker room. I think that's a huge thing for us. To prepare the right way and take that ice with the right mindset. So I think that's really helped us out. And it's a difference maker when we play teams like we're going to play tonight with the 2 best players in the NHL, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So it's going to be a battle, but I like the way that we prepare, and I like our experience that help our young guys take that next step.
How do you balance when you're in a situation like this and things are going well? You always want to handle adversity well, but I got to imagine there's also a level of how do you handle prosperity and making sure guys stay grounded and in the right mindset?
Well, we've all stood around reading our press clippings for the last couple of days, so that will be an interesting experiment tonight. But we'll find out pretty quick. We talk about it. This is the success that we want to have as an organization. So can we handle it? And can we continue to go forward with it? I mean, and we do some stuff, with our analytical meetings and that, keeping us grounded and keeping us trying to improve on the hockey ops side. And our coaches pass that along to the players that were never satisfied. So, but it'll be, obviously it'll be interesting to see how we do handle that success as a young team.
Bill, I was in Ames calling that BYU-Iowa State game last weekend, and I'm watching BYU's players just drop like flies. They lost their middle linebacker. They lost their running back. They lost their outside linebacker. Guys are going down. I'm just like, geez, man, just brutal injuries. And I tune in, I'm watching the Mammoth, and I'm just seeing the same names. I don't see a lot of injuries. I see guys play night in and night out.
I'm knocking on wood as you're speaking right here. I am knocking on wood, my friend.
I'm trying to figure out, what is the usual for the NHL? Because dudes just seem to play.
Some guys have that longevity built in them, where they're durable, they're big, and they can last. There were other guys that are injured all the time. I think that there's a lot of it has to do with your summer training, your preparation, to making sure you're training the right way and building up your body so you're not always injured. But we have some good durability with our group right now, and it can be devastating, like it is in football, in key areas when you're banged up. We're hoping, and I'm knocking wood as I'm saying this, that we're going to continue to be durable and have the same light up night in after night out. And if we can do that, we can take a run at making the playoffs.
You got Veggie riding a 6-game winning streak. He leads the league in wins on the season. When you've got a tender that's in the zone like he is, do you talk to him differently? Do you avoid him? I mean, is there any superstition things you try to just make sure you don't get into his mind at all?
I think I'm more superstitious than our goaltenders. Our goaltenders are so chill and relaxed. They say hi. Yeah, they're not moody. They're, they kind of freak me out, to be honest with you. I would like it if they were a little more moody or they didn't talk to us on game day, but they're like, hey, how you doing? Good. Hey, how you doing? So they're not very superstitious and they're not very moody. They're way overly too friendly and too calm. But that works for them, so we're going with that.
I like it. And just watching these guys, and you watch the usual names, Schmaltz, Hayton, Keller, plus Peterka, Cooley, and Gunther, contributing 73% of the entire team's goals, 61% of the assists, and 66% of the points. Is this kind of the vision you had as you built the roster with those 6 people?
It is. I mean, you really want a lot of production from your top 2 lines. I think we're still a little ways off from being a perfect team and being, fully built out. But we're getting there, and you can see when some of those pieces are put together, how good they can be in the end. The Peterka, Cooley and Gunther line, they're a special line. I mean, they've got speed. Speed is almost impossible to defend at the NHL level. And if you're trying to defend it, you're taking penalties on us. So they're really healthy in the sense of the fact that they have that ability to generate scoring chances off the rush, and there's not much teams can do about it. So I'm liking, and that's some of the plan. And I think, we're a fast team, and I still think there's some more chemistry to add in where guys know where they are. I think there's, especially with the Peterka and Gunther and Cooley line, there's still room to grow. Cooley knows where Gunner is at all times, but he doesn't know exactly where JJ is, and that will come with time. And when you see them click on all together and know and have that special chemistry that's built over time, they're going to be a special line. All
right. It's time for the Bill Educates Us question of the interview. Hat tricks are always cool, and you've had 2 of those during this 7-game stretch. But the Natty Hatty, the natural hat trick, just how rare is that?
It's rare. I think it's really rare. It's hard to score 3 in a game, and let alone score 3 in a row, right, one after another, and have that natural hat trick. And sometimes streaky players are really good at that too. I like the Gordie Howe hat trick with a couple fights in there. It's not a bad one either. Utah people like their teams tough, so that's not a bad hat trick either.
I got to ask you because I wrote it down in my notes last Thursday night. Coming out of St. Louis there with 7 goals, just felt like there was a little extra stink on St. Louis. Talk us through that. Season high in goals, a 7-4 win on the road after a really tough OT performance against Colorado at home. What sparked in St. Louis that just felt different to you, Bill?
Well, I think we were ready to go right off the get-go. And they were a little sleepy early on, and we kind of gave it to them early on and got ahead of them. And, even when they pushed on us, we still found ways to score and kind of take the game out of their hands. So, we took a lot of penalties that particular game too. So we were killing, and we couldn't get back on our feet. And soon enough, but we found a way to weather the storm and stay in it. And we kind of did the same thing in Mini, and we didn't do that last year. We let them back. We let teams back in the race with us. The difference is now, we're in Minnesota, and they've got the momentum, and we're up by a goal, and all of a sudden, boom, J.J. Paterka buries one, and then Nick Schmaltz buries another one, and the game's out of hand, and it's over. And I think that's the difference in our team, is that our talent is a little higher, and we have the ability to finish a little better, which puts teams away.
So, big one tonight. Edmonton is the standard. They're incredible.
Yep.
What are you going to learn from and about your team tonight when you watch this one?
Well, we're going to learn if we stood around yesterday and read our press clippings too much. That's the first thing we're going to understand, talking about how good we are and everything So we'll find out if we can handle success. That's one. Number two, I think it's a good matchup for us to see how good we actually are against Edmonton. They've been to the Cup final 2 years in a row, and a damn good team. So it's going to be a good test, and we're going to measure ourselves against them. And, we're no secret anymore. So teams are going to be prepared. Teams are going to be hungry to play us. So it's going to be a heck of a battle.
Bill, appreciate it as always. Thanks for hanging out with us. Keep it rolling. Let's keep this winning streak going as long as we can. But this has been a lot of fun to watch. We appreciate your time.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks very much. Looking forward to that steak.
Go get those Oilers, Bill, and we'll send the steak. We'll take care of it on our end.
All right. Thanks, boys.
There he is, Bill Armstrong. You know that dude can plow through a steak like it's nothing.
He is a built man.
Yes.
I told you about the first time I met him, which was really uncomfortable.
After a loss, tough loss, yeah.
Yeah, it was a shootout loss. I think it was against the Penguins. No, I think it was an OT loss against the Penguins. And
yeah.
I was walking down the hallway, and I see this gigantic, towering man, and I realized, that's Bill. And you and I had quite a few conversations. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk to him. So I stopped him, talked to him, and he didn't punch me.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's a towering dude, and he can definitely put down some stakes.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Take a quick break. Come back as we continue to get you ready for another weekend of college football. But how about the Mammoth? Winners of 7 in a row, trying to make it 8 tonight. And again, right here on your exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.